Sky Blue Fans TV. For the fans, by the fans.
Good evening. Welcome to an edition of Sky Blue Fans TV. Euro special, 24 hours before the big kick-off between Germany and Scotland tomorrow night. That kicks the tournament off. Of course, England playing on Sunday. And then we've got a feast of football. We've all been bored for the last few weeks, so now we've got a feast of football. We've got all the Euros, and we've got loads of friendlies coming up as well. So plenty to talk about, and we've got plenty of guests tonight as well. So we've got CJ, we've got Simon as well, talking about the charity and talking about the season tickets that he raises money for. We've got CJ as well, as normal. He's going to talk about a charity as well that he's involved in. And we've got our normal Italian stallion, Claudio. Good evening.
Blimey. I was keeping that quiet, Ken. I got the flag. I'm not hiding it now. Look, I got it out now.
Where you think Italy will finish?
Finish?
Where do you think they've got a good chance of winning it?
Not a hope.
No. You're going to call it. You're going to get out of the group, aren't you?
Well, when you see the group, well, the two teams are playing are our bogey teams, so our bogey countries.
Wow.
And we've got Albania, who don't really like Italians, so it'll be interesting. I'm not expecting much. I'm not expecting much at all. No, I never do though. I never do.
No,
I'm the opposite to England fans.
Yeah, England fans always hope, but always unfortunately fail at the last hurdle. But hopefully, it might happen. It might happen. This might be the year. You never know. You need a little bit of luck along the way as well, don't you?
Well, we had plenty of that last time.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Here's a man who's following England here, there, and everywhere. Good evening, CJ.
Hello.
Hello. You excited?
Very excited.
Yeah, 24 hours before the tournament kicks off. Of course, England kick off on Sunday. You reasonably hopeful? I mean, or what do you think?
Hopeful that both teams can find a way to lose tomorrow.
Do you think England will do all right? Do you think they'll be there or thereabouts?
Yeah, I think we'll be there or thereabouts. Yeah.
There's always one team that comes from nowhere, like a dark horse, isn't there, that nobody expects?
Yeah.
Well, and I've got my prediction. I think they'll win it. This team, you'll be surprised. You might not be surprised, but I think they'll win it. Let's introduce Simon. Simon, good evening.
Hi there. You okay?
Yes, all right. How are you? Are you excited for the Euros?
Yeah. I'm flying out Saturday morning for the first game.
Oh, you're flying tonight? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Lucky enough.
How long are you staying? Are you just going for the game and coming back?
Just that game for a couple of days. I've got to spare some holiday, so I'm out for that, then back for a few days' work, and then got a week out there for the second and third game, and then we'll have to juggle depending on how far we go, the amount of holiday I've got left, and whether it's 16 or quarters, we'll see.
Well, I think
so fingers crossed.
Just 2 weeks.
Fingers crossed. I've got a first world problem of Well, I was looking at my friends at the quarters against Italy, possibly.
Well,
I've seen that already.
It's possibly
quarters against Italy, I think, or Spain.
Yeah, and then they could meet France as well, couldn't they? So it's going to be no easy games, I don't think. But yeah, that's of course if Italy get out the group, they might not get out the group. Yeah,
probably won't.
It all depends, doesn't it? But yeah, I bet you're looking forward to that, and it's going to be. Have you been to a few tournaments, or is this your first one?
Yeah, no, I've been lucky enough to do a few over the years. Haven't done all of them. I didn't do Qatar, but done a few others for some games and stuff like that. So I've been quite lucky over the years, really. It's always been a good experience. Used it as a way to travel and see the different countries, really. As much as I think I've enjoyed that as much as I have the football over the years, you know, from Vienna to so many different places. And CJ's done far more than me. He can tell you more. But it's the group of people and the friends that we go with that we haven't felt like we haven't done a proper road trip since France. So it feels like it's going to be a good one with the last, well, not the Qatar one, but the tournament before being at home.
Yeah.
It's quite nice to get on the road again and see some friends and see some different cities to hopefully 2006.
Yeah, and it's not too far to travel, which is good, isn't it, Germany? It's not too far away, is it? So, you know, it's quite reasonable travelling distance. So, yeah. Okay.
I did the Euros in 80. Somehow my dad got me out of school. I was 15 and we, middle of June, and you know, somehow he got me out for about a month.
Wow.
I mean, the tournament was only 2 weeks long. And we thought, because Italy and England being in the same group, they're bound to get to the final. One of them's going to top the group, and neither did. So we decided that we wouldn't bother with the third and fourth place game, even though Italy were playing. And we had tickets for the final, and I've still got the unused tickets for the final and the third and fourth place because we didn't go in. We went to see relatives instead. And so I was there for the England-Belgium game with all the tear gas and everything. It was it was scary. It was scary. And then I went for 5 weeks for Italia 90, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
We're just lucky for the Italia 90. We just happened to have the tickets for the right games. We got the England-Cameroon quarterfinal. We then had the Italy-Argentina semi-final. We went to Bari for the third and fourth. Bizarrely, I saw Argentina about 3 or 4 times in that tournament. I was trying to avoid them. I was there for the Roger Milo and the Colombia played Cameroon, and
oh god, yeah,
the keeper ran out the air. Do you remember? He was on the halfway line. He took the ball off him. They're great. I always find these tournaments before you actually start. It's like going to be really exciting. And about a week into it, he's kind of thinking, "Oh, when's it going to actually really kick off?"
Yeah, started a few draws, doesn't it? 0-0 draws or 1-1 draws or something like that. I've got a funny feeling Germany, Scotland tomorrow will be a draw. I don't know why. I just think it's going to be.
That 1980 tournament, Claudio, it was 2 groups, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was bizarre.
I think it was 2. There was 2 groups of 4, and there wasn't even semi-finals, was there?
No, that's what I mean. Whoever won the group went to the final, and whoever finished second did the third and fourth place.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
It was
Italy. Did Italy finish 4th?
Second. They played the Czech Republic or Czechoslovakia in those days.
Oh, right.
And Belgium topped the group. It's out of England's group. England were all right. England had a good side. And bizarrely, I had a massive St. George's. I was part of the England travel group, and I was supporting England. So when England played Italy, and Tardelli scored and made it 1-0, I felt like I was the only person not stood up. It was 80,000 Italians. It was chaotic though. Tear gas and the Turin station afterwards. I can remember they came charging through, England fans. Most of them were like Londoners, to be honest. And the police came charging in. My old man grabbed me, pulled me into a tobacconist, and they put the shutters down. And he basically said, "I'm not worried about the England fans. It's the Italian coppers I'm worried about," because they were coming in. They were just wading in. You know, it's frightening. They weren't. 1980, they're taking no prisoners. You just had to get out of the way, and you could be mind your own business. It was that bad. I know there was a bad reputation, especially in the 80s. But some of the stuff that went on before the aggro started was just as bad, to be honest. You know, and being COF fans, we didn't see a lot of that, did we? Really. As a COF supporter, compared to maybe a lot of some of the London teams with the big firms and that.
Yeah.
So it was an eye opener when you're 15. That's for sure.
I could imagine. I mean, trouble's obviously slowed down a lot better. It's a lot better now to go to a game. I was going to ask CJ regarding trouble. Have you been close to incidents where there's been trouble? I mean, I'm sure you have with England. There's been quite a few over the years, and how close have you been, to be sort of really affected by it or whatever?
A couple of days ago, it was 8 years since Marseille.
Yeah.
With the Russians and the French police and just disorganisation of that city, and it's absolutely horrible. I mean, it was just horrible. It we were in the port area, and we were effectively faced with we either go in the water behind us, or we've got the Russians charging down the street towards us. You know, it was like a T junction.
Yeah.
So behind us, we had the port. In front of us, we had the Russians coming towards us, holding knives and all sorts, bottles and whatever. And then to the left, there was a load of police. To the right, there was a load of police firing tear gas. So a load of lads basically got some tables, and because there was kids and stuff, all sorts, you know, families and whatever. Yeah, and they literally, a load of English lads just got some tables and just started to like move, almost like the Romans, you know, basically. And then the lads behind had a load of chairs and bottles, and they were just throwing them over the top, just basically to push back. And I mean, there were some English there that we, you know, they would have been absolutely loving it. You know, you know, it's no doubt about it. But there was a lot of what you saw in the papers that there were basically people. They didn't show what's happening behind.
No.
People were covered in blood. We were picking people up covered in blood. And the police weren't doing anything. Paramedics weren't doing anything. They were just sat there watching it. It's just.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing because different police forces, different countries deal with it differently, don't they? A lot of them have like
and then
they go steaming in, and others sort of laid back.
But Germany,
a few months after that,
Germany are going to be used. They're used to huge crowds in the German league, so they'll be sorted.
Yeah.
If anyone can sort trouble out, it's the German police. So I'm hoping there won't be any.
Yeah, I know. I heard a little bit today that they were concerned a little bit about the England game on Sunday, where mainly, like, obviously the opposing fans they were worried about more than the English.
Serbians.
Yeah, the Serbians. So I mean, because they've got a bit of a bad name, some of them, haven't they? So, but
they're keeping us apart.
Yeah. I mean, it's just yeah, but. Unfortunately, it's a minority again, isn't it? Not the majority. It's a minority that go out to cause the trouble, and unfortunately, this shows you it's in every country, isn't it? It's not just England. But England seems to have a bad name about it. But there's a lot of countries a lot worse than England, I think, trouble-wise. You know, from what I've seen, telly, you know, I've seen plenty of pictures of different games kicking off here, there, and everywhere. So, how about you, Si? Have you ever been involved in any or been close?
You do tend to get a sense when something's about to happen. You can, as long as you're sort of sober enough, and many fans aren't always, you sort of sense a bit of a mood change. I remember being in Germany 2006, and there was a bit of a mood change in one square, and it just me and mates just went, let's just move on now. And the next thing you heard was 5-10 minutes later, you hear the sirens and you hear it all kicking off. I think the only thing is I got battened by a kind Spanish policeman in Seville. Again, English fans climbing up the trees and getting the oranges. And I said to my sister-in-law, my son at the time, I said, right, come on, we need to go because the police will come in soon. And they said, oh, we need to nip to the loo. So they went into the loo, and then the police did close off the street and ran up the street and battened anyone on the street who was, there, even though you were sort of innocent. They just did it. But look, these things happen. We sort of sensed it. I should have just made them go to the loo in the next pub, really, or I should have just gone in the pub with them for a few minutes. They just cleared the streets. You generally sense it. I don't think you probably could in Marseille. I was lucky enough that I wasn't there then. We were flying out, or we were driving out for the tournament after that game. I don't think you could have avoided that, because I think that wasn't just police, that was fans, and that was very well organised. So I think you were just unfortunate place, unfortunate time with something like that, and that can happen. But I think if you've got your wits about you, you know when the singing and the square and the alcohol and the things get thrown around, it just, you know when there's a bit of a tipping point, I like to think, so you can avoid it should you want to. But I think, Germany was good, didn't see really anything there, and I think hopefully hundreds of thousands of fans going over there again, it'll be well policed and it'll be well attended and it'll be very peaceful again, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, you get a lot of banter between the fans, but rival pubs, I suppose, if you see each other and across the road from each other or different pubs. But as long as it stays that way, that's fine. Banter's banter, but it's when it gets out of control. And it takes one idiot to kick it all off, doesn't it? That's unfortunately. But Yeah, there you go. But anyway, let's talk about some good stuff now. Then we'll move on from that. Hopefully, we don't get any reports of any issues during this tournament. Hopefully, everything will go fine. We're going to start talking about charity. CJ, you've got a charity you're going to mention. Block 109. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was formed just before COVID by a guy called Kunal Sapat, who's a good mate of mine, and it was basically because Wembley's quite difficult to create an atmosphere. It's not really built for it, which would surely have been one of the things that should have been at the forefront of building it in the first place. But when they rebuilt it, so we created it just to try and get as many away fans in the same place as possible. Well, away members in the same place as possible. Okay. So and then kind of COVID hit, and a lot of the people that follow England, they've got a bit of disposable income, and we just thought, we'll try and raise some money because we've got the London Marathon coming up that's now not happening. We've got loads of different things happening. People are really struggling, so there's a lot of charities that are going to be struggling. So let's try and do something. So we just we started this monthly raffle. We did something with the Grand National where we did just a sweepstake for it and stuff like that. And we ended up raising, quite a bit of money through that. And the raffles has been going ever since. Cash prizes every month, like small cash prizes. And we tried to do a bonus prize. A company might donate a T-shirt. Somebody like Art of Football or somebody like that might donate a T-shirt. And there's been a few other things that we've had. And we've raised about 12,000 pounds so far. So it's been around about £3,000 a year that we've raised off it. And it's getting bigger slowly. More and more people are doing it, and it's starting to get a bit of traction. And we've made quite a few donations in this country. If somebody we know is running the marathon, if one of the England journalists are doing the marathon or doing the Great North Run or something like that, we'll donate £109 into that. But the big thing we wanted to do was do similar to what the Barmy Army do, but on a smaller scale at the moment, where we do something where we're playing. So in Malta, for example, we donated a defibrillator to a Ronald McDonald Community Centre, Ronald McDonald House Community Centre. So, and then we did the same at the cricket club where the first England-Scotland game took place. So we bought them a defibrillator, but for the anniversary game last year. And then we've also, what else did we do last year? We bought some tablets, some iPad type tablets, some books and stuff like that, art supplies and stuff for a kids cancer unit in Wrocław for when we played Ukraine. So the idea is they can use them because they could still only have one parent in with them, and that's not one parent at a time. It's like one parent full stop, and their families could be 200 miles away. So they could use them for video calls, learning, play, and so on. So so we try and do things like that. We've got one or two things coming up. We're in touch with a hospital in one of the cities in Germany that we're hoping. Well, we're going to be donating some tablets into them. Hopefully, a little bit of a problem at the moment with the language barrier and getting them to understand what we're actually doing and why we want to do it. And also we're donating, I think we're just going to make a cash donation into a Ronald McDonald House in where parents and siblings of sick kids stay in either Essen or Cologne. I think it'd be the one in Essen. So that's what we're going to be doing. So yeah.
So if anybody wants to donate, how can they donate to your charity?
They can do. I mean, they can just direct message my Twitter, which is on the screen now, or the Block 109 Twitter, which is England Block 109. So they can just send us a message, and we can, you can see us there. So by all means, join in with the raffle. It's like I say, it's £5 a month. We can be a bit tardy with how we do it. Sometimes we end up doing like 3 months at a time or something, but we try and get somebody interested to do it. So like Henry Winters helped us out a lot, so he'll do it from time to time. And we've had some with Michael Owen, Robert Green, Jeff
Yeah.
Hurst,
Okay.
Wayne Rooney, various different people do it.
Yeah.
Peter Taylor, people
Yeah.
like that. So sometimes we manage to get hold of people to do it, and sometimes we can't, and we just delay it and delay it. Oh, okay, we've got to do it. So we'd use the lottery. So, for example, we used the first 4 balls that dropped on the lottery last night to do
Right.
it. So,
Yeah.
so forgive us for that, but we always donate the money, which is the most important thing.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, sounds good. Sounds interesting and a well worth charity by the sounds of it, and a worthy cause. Okay, well, anybody who wants to donate to that charity, say CJ's Twitter's on the screen now. You can go on there and get all the details if you want to do that. That's fine. And how much is it? Just £5? £5 for the raffle.
Just £5 a month, basically, and we'll give you a number. It's like a lucky number draw each month.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, sound. Okay, another man who's been raising funds is Simon Miller, but for a different cause. Simon, tell me about your season ticket collection, season ticket.
Will do, yeah. Well, I set it up. Well, it's year 7 now. It's sort of dawning back on me when we first set it up. Really, before COVID. Really, I think I've been really lucky. I think my uncle took me when I was sort of 12 or 13, and then started sneaking up to games. I did an egg round and started sneaking up to games on a Saturday, home games, when it was the 80s, and it was a bit of trouble then, even just for home games. And, over the years, I've been lucky enough to bring or drag my son up from the age of 3, forcing him to go and watch the city over the years. And I just thought, you know what, it's created such, we could all think of the games that we don't want to remember, but in a way, they're also eventful days that you do, but sort of so many happy memories. And I just was in a position the other year, I thought, you know what, I'd just try and find a family where I could buy them a season ticket. It was relatively cheap a few years ago, League Two, etc. And so I thought I'd put it out there on one of the websites and put it out there on Twitter, I think. And, people nominated a family and I'd sort of purchased them a season ticket. But whilst I did that, some other people said, look, I'll chip in money for that, set something up. So set up a GoFundMe page, nothing, no reward, nothing, just asking people, well, if you fancy donating an amount, do it. And also, a kind guy from the website set up a nomination form. So that's where it sort of sparked, really. And I think we got 1,300 quid and we could help 4 or 5 families that year. And with the club in the position, they helped with some extra tickets that year. And then we just sort of spiraled from there, really. It went year after year, and some years it's raised 2,000. In its top years, it's raised 15. And we've been able to help over 100 people. We get some very generous donors, but anything from a £5, they all adds up, across the collective fan base. So I think to date, and with the club's help, we've purchased well over 400 season tickets for families in the sort of 6 years. Well, this is the 7th year, so it'll be just tipping over 400 sets of season tickets that we'll have been able to buy for people. And, people nominate, other people as to reasons. People have lost their jobs, they've lost loved ones, they perhaps can't afford it. Some nurses, single mums, it varies really. And we just try and get some, verification, some nominations, and there's a group of people that kindly review those. And then I, go and spend quite a bit of time with Sheila, Danielle and the team and try and get all the details and buy them. So I think I was a nuisance on Monday, getting about 60 odd, and there tomorrow getting a few more. And then I think that's pretty much the money run out this year. But people can still donate. There's still donations coming in, and there's still nominations coming in. But I know from some of the people we've helped and the messages that I share on some of the forums and some of the social media, how much it does make a difference. And some of those people who perhaps were unemployed have subsequently still purchased season tickets and then have kindly donated back into the fund in terms of that. And, I've messaged John Taylor at the moment to see whether they can help again this year, because obviously it is a little bit more expensive. The booking fees alone use up £500 of the donations, but that's just the nature of it in a way. But, I know that goes to Ticketmaster, but just trying to see if I get a little bit out of the club. But no, just was sparked about really trying to create some family days for people to enjoy it. And to be fair, apart from the COVID years, and, I think the 7 years have probably been the best years we could have ever helped people on the Coventry journey with the Wembley trips. Obviously, we don't buy those tickets for them and promotions. So it's been a bit of a raging success. We get It's been
Yeah.
really good.
Did you say the club also donate some tickets as well?
It certainly did a lot more when we were League Two basis and in Birmingham. It sort of helped provide a lot more tickets than that. It's a little bit more commercial at the moment. We'll wait to see if I get any help this year with any tickets, but I haven't heard back from them. I made a couple of requests, but we might not now. It's a different, and I get we're a championship now. It's a different commercial being now, and the family zone sells out. Luckily, I managed to get most of the tickets in the family zone this year.
I was about to say, what area of the ground?
Yeah, a lot of people have migrated, so we try and help families. We try and create family days. As I said, we've had people who have lost loved ones to cancer and stuff like that. So there's a lot of things where we try and give family days out. And CJ and his business kindly helped last year and other years as well with stuff. So there's a lot of generous people out there that, across a big collective of fans, a £5 each goes a long way. But yeah, hopefully the club might throw a couple of season tickets to be able to help. But they were very good with when family zone tickets were sort of being given back, allowing me to try and purchase those for the families. Because obviously if we can get a family of two, adult or child, you get a lot more for your buck there at £300 than you do if I'm having to buy in the other area. So we're lucky that we've been able to, I think in total we might just get to about 70 people this year, 70 individual tickets, but for families, but 70 tickets overall.
Yeah, that's good.
But there's still 70 people that wouldn't have gone without the generosity of all the people who make a donation, and that's what it's about. And whether they ever go again or can afford to go again, or but they'll have hopefully some days out, some evenings out, and some memories that they'll last them a lifetime as children and parents. And again, that's why I just sort of set it up. And we don't offer any prizes. Sadly, I'm not organised enough to get raffles and do all of those things. We just sort of, it's a blatant, look, if you've got a £5 and you don't mind sparing a pint or a coffee or whatever, then please donate. And it just...
Simon, it's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic what you do. It's amazing, in fact. And I think...
I don't do a lot. I just set up a GoFundMe page.
Well,
try and review the nominations, really. That's the most disheartening nominations.
It's a bit like Bob Geldof. What did he do? He just set it up, didn't he? And it's raising awareness. Yeah, but like a lot of people, sometimes those get forgotten, don't they? Because everyone's some people are having a great life and don't realise that there's others you can leave behind. And it's great that some people, give to this sort of charities or whatever. It's fantastic.
I think the hardest thing each year is reading the nominations and
I was about to say
individuals details, but when you read some of the situations people are in and what they've lost and the circumstances, and we liaised with Zoe's Place a few years ago and gave them some tickets. We've liaised with the Sky Blues in the community and stuff like that to try and help. But when you read some of those, they're just very disheartening. And there was one person last year who was in a shelter with her children away from a violent individual, and just brought them to tears to be able to give them the opportunities to have days out when they literally have to leave where they've been and go into temporary accommodation and leave all their possessions. The child had to leave their football shirt, and other people then donated to buy them a football shirt as well. It's just one of many situations which is really, it's disheartening, but it's warming to know that there's a group of people who collectively have raised nearly 65,000, I think, in the 7 years it's been going. So, they've given them hopefully some moments of release and, optimism. And just the messages this year, you have the flip side of reading them all, but the flip side of then saying, look, we want to buy for you, the messages back are very heartening, and knowing what it means to them. So, and CJ will know that with what he's doing with, the McDonald's charities and putting into the hospitals and the different places as well. It just sort of, the language barrier, it'll be probably a slight suspicion as why do you want to give us this, you England fans, because we want to do something different. And I think there's a lot of people who want to do something different, and I think that's sometimes taken for a bit of cynicism. But when you look at what CJ's doing and many of the fans doing with different initiatives, then I think it's a credit to fans and what they're wanting to do more than just the football, really.
Yeah. How if somebody wanted to put a donation in, how did they get in contact with you then, Simon?
Yes, I didn't put my Twitter handle up here, but I mean, look, if they just went on GoFundMe and put CCFC season ticket or just CCFC, I don't think there's any other charities for CCFC. They'll see it there and they can make a donation there. The minimum's a £5. There you go. CCFC season ticket fund, year 7.
Instant reaction. from.
DJ, that's the best way. So yeah, and they'll also, if they open up on there, if they don't want to just donate, I mean, I know we're running out of the funds this year, but again, it's worthwhile if people still know someone who might need a lift in their life or helping hand for whatever reasons. There's a link for the form on there as well for them to nominate people. And if we continue to raise more funds, then obviously we can help more families and more individuals, you know, get to games next year. So yeah, it's that's the best way to get on there.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Brilliant.
Fantastic job you've done there, both of you, really. Because I say,
might not be many seats left in future years the way we're going.
You're right. Yeah,
Hey?
we're doing all right. I think reports is about
20,000.
20,000, is it? We've sold.
Yeah, it's interesting with the season tickets sold because I wonder if we're going to top our average from last season, or is it just people who come in casually have bought a season ticket? That'd be interesting to see during the season what's happened, because I reckon the new season tickets are probably people who were buying individual tickets last year.
Maybe,
Possibly.
yeah. You got 2,500 away fans on top of that each week, so it's going to come close to topping the average, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's going to be great. It's what we need up there, and we need it for a few years yet if you want to get any better.
Yeah,
it's the way forward. I just want to just raise this the statue appeal for George and John. I think they need about 10 grand, and they've got the money to build this, to pay for this statue. So if you, like Miles always says, it's less than a pint at the what you pay around the grounds. So 5 will do, 5 tenors, or if you like a double gin and tonic like Ken does, it's a bit more. But and also this as well. On the 26th of June, when the fixtures are released, we'll be at the Engine Inn in Kenilworth with a forum, free chip butties. Ted the landlord is a big Coventry City fan as well, so it'd be a good night. So that's what's coming up.
Yeah, that's all to come. So we're looking forward to that. Right, shall we got a few comments coming in, haven't we?
Yeah, I'll read these out.
See them in the corner of my eye.
Right. Well, this is the first one. This was at this came in at 2 a.m. in the morning. Unfortunately, France will win from Cash for Cat.
France will win.
With all due respect to Cash for Cat, maybe he was just rolling out the pub at that time. Maybe.
Nation Radio. That's Tony Coventry. Evening, big man. I'm not sure which one's the big man. Oh, Evening the Stallion. That must have been you, the big man, Ken.
Yeah, I'm the big.
Seriously worried about England. We'll talk about England in a bit.
Not as worried as Claudio.
No, I'm not worried. James Hollyoak, England's defence looks poor. Yeah, well, we've got West Sky Blues, Belgium or France to win it. No, Belgium are pants. And Joyner, Claudio, CJ wasn't even born then.
No, the 80s. Yeah.
In the 80s. It says Wayne Littlewood, evening. Tuning in from Crete. Have a good evening, chaps.
Good evening,
it's a bit warmer there on the rain here.
Nice holiday out there.
Paul Hughes, evening all from Travelodge somewhere. And then they said League Cup semi-final at West Ham. It was a bit of a night, that was.
Yeah, I do remember.
Graham Cockrell, hi guys. Yes. And Tony agrees. Yes, Paul, they bricked our coaches, which is true. Lots of brick throwing comments. We'll go straight to Anjoyner. Both charities are so worthy. Proper fans. I know I'm biased. Doing good for other fans in the community. Sadly, football fans get such a bad press. And this is a great example of the best of football. And there's so many other clubs doing stuff like this as well. And is dead on there. And we'll come to this, Glenn. Do England leave Foden out the starting lineup? Well, shall we look at the groups then?
Okay, let's talk about then. Let's have a look at the group.
So what we'll do is we'll get Group A and B up, and we were going to go for one group winner, but 3, as people probably know, 3 teams can go through, and we'll just pick 2 because it's going to be too complicated else. So there we go then. So Groups A and Group B. So Group A: Germany, Scotland, Hungary, Switzerland. So what do you reckon, chaps?
Let's go, guys. Go on, Simon. You give yours first, then.
Definitely Germany.
Germany.
Let's go Switzerland. I think resurgent Swiss. And then Spain and I think Italy.
On Spain and Italy.
We'll be kind to Claudio, as you invited me on. I think they'll beat Croatia though. I think they will.
All right, okay. CJ, what's your two of each?
I think I've got to say Germany, really. Switzerland, they've got some very, very, very good players. You've got a very good side there. So I can see them getting into second. Potentially they could end up getting 6 points there. Maybe the Germans, maybe all 9. So and then the other one, Spain, I think will win the group, and I think probably the Italians will finish second. I would say I'm actually going to Italy, Albania on Saturday.
Oh yeah.
So see how it's in Dortmund. I'm in the yellow wall. I'm not sure which side I'm on, so it could be the blue or the red wall, maybe. But yeah, so I think Italy will finish second.
So you've gone for the same basically as it's the same as Simon, yeah. Germany, Switzerland, Spain, Italy. Claudio, have you got your predictions there?
Yeah, well, Germany's interesting anyway for the tournament because they've got no forwards. They've still got Thomas Muller up front, which is ridiculous. Havertz, he ain't that great, is he? Midfield wise, they've got Cruz, Sane, Gundogan. I'm trying to say these names here. Pascal Gross. They're not a great German side, are they? Really? But you think being at home, they should go a fair way in the tournament. But I think Germany, and I'm going with CJ and this Switzerland. But Hungary, they beat England twice, didn't they? The nation. They're not a bad side, Hungary. I think you could get a situation where Germany top the group and the other 3 are very close to getting second, but I think Switzerland will sneak it.
Okay, so you agree with the other 2, yeah, okay.
Group B?
Yes.
Well, Spain are quite young, actually. They got a young side. So I'm not sure. They've got some good players, but they're quite young. We're in absolute shambles. Our best strikers, Scamacca. Come on. It's pretty rubbish.
You always
they are.
Though, don't you?
Well, you say that, but they've been struggling to get to tournaments in recent years.
When you get to one.
You've got a very good keeper.
Well, we have. But I can see a situation where Albania get nothing from the group and the other 4 end up sharing the points. If that makes any sense. Like they all get 4 points each or something. It's going to be, but I think Spain, I don't think we'll get out of the group. I actually think Croatia will finish second. We can't beat Croatia.
Wow.
I think we've beaten them once. We've beaten them once, I think. And in recent years, we've had a shocking record against the Spanish. Although we beat them in the last Euro, so I'm talking rubbish, aren't I? Yeah, we'll top the group, Spain second.
I would say, Claudio, that you've got a very good manager.
Well, that's true.
Spalletti is a very good manager. It's not quite as good as the previous one, but he's a very good manager, and he can get anything out of any player. So I think that's something I think that shouldn't be underestimated. I can see him. He might be able to just get that extra 10% out of some of those players.
Yeah, Albania is the tricky one because they've improved massively. They have. They have got. They say
you cannot be saying the Albania have improved. It could be a tricky one. Come on.
Come on. They got that fantastic brochure up front. Wasn't it at Fulham? Is he at Fulham now? I think. And they got but there's a sort of Albania and Italy. It's not quite England, Wales, but it's similar. If you know what I mean, because we once invaded Albania, and it's it runs deep. But I think we're going to top the group. I'm going to be confident for a change. Spain second.
Okay, so you're going
Italy top, Spain second.
Okay.
Yeah. I've got the shirt on. I've got to change my mind, haven't
Okay. All right. Okay. Me. I've got to go for the Germans. I've not to win the Group A. I do think Scotland will do well, though. I really do. I think they'll pick up points. So I'm going to go for Germany, Scotland to get through. I think they'll pick up points. I really do. I think they'll pick up points where you don't expect them to. Whether they get any further after that is another matter.
Ken, were you in the pub with Cash for Cat at 2:45 this morning?
No, but I just got a funny feeling. I don't know why.
The trouble is Scotland. There's 5 wins in a row, didn't they? And they've practically qualified straight away, and they've been terrible since.
They have. They haven't really. They have fences up at times. I mean, but as we know, it's down to on the day, isn't it? And I suppose they'll be up for it. They're going to be backed by a big Scottish contingent, over 20,000, I'm told, and making their way out to Germany. So half of them obviously ain't got tickets, but they're still going. I've seen some pictures of them in the pubs already. I think they kidnapped Jeff Stelling, didn't they, the other day? Did you see that on telly? They got Jeff Stelling, and they were all like, "There's only one Jeff Stelling." They crowded the pub.
Personally, I'd like to see all the home nations qualify. I think it's good. It's great for the television as well. Yeah. I'd sooner see Wales and Albania play. I'd sooner see Northern Ireland and Switzerland or whatever, or Hungary.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. It's Northern Ireland not in. Yeah.
Even the Republic. It's just because
Yeah, so, I would like to see, because you've got a lot of the English players playing for them teams as well. A lot of the English-based players, if you like, that we see sometimes in the Championship and in the Premier League. They're based down here. So, but yeah, so that's what I'm going for, basically. Germany, Scotland. And then in Group B, I'm going for Spain and Italy. I think the Italians will scrape through in second place. So, right. That's the first one out of the way. Next.
So we've gone from the group of death to the group of sleep, and this is Group C. I mean, every time, I don't know how you guys do it with these nice little easy groups. So it's England against the League Two countries, I think. Right. So what written, CJ? Who's coming second?
It's very difficult because, I mean, you look at Serbia. Mitrovic has been, he's been plodding away in Saudi, hasn't he? Which is a lovely holiday for him, and racking up. I haven't even seen how he's been getting on, but he's always been good for a goal, really. Denmark, they've got a very old team. I think I'm sure it was them that got I think they're the oldest in the tournament, possibly. I think. So that's something to consider. Slovenia, I think Slovenia are going to finish bottom. And I mean, it is a little bit of a derby, isn't it? Serbia, Slovenia. Former Yugoslavian countries. I think I can see Serbia finishing second to us. I don't necessarily think we're going to come out of it with 9 points. We might not even come out with 6. We might end up with 5. But I think we're definitely going to pick up one win there at some point, and I can see us coming out unbeaten. But yeah, I can see us finishing either 5, 6, or 7 points out of that. I think we're definitely going to get a draw at some point, which is not a bad thing at the end of the day. Yeah, so I think it's going to be us and probably Serbia, I would say, with Denmark in third.
Okay.
Do you need Group D now, or?
Yeah, go on. Might as well Group D while you're there.
Group D is a really interesting one. that is a tough. But I mean, I saw Austria play against Germany on the way back from when we came back from Skopje last year, and we stopped off there, watched them play, and they absolutely wiped the floor with the Germans. They've got one of the best players in Europe in Sabitzer. I mean, good keeper, good fullbacks. They've got some very good players. It wouldn't surprise me to see them get a draw really against France, to be honest with you. And then if they manage to do that, it's anyone's guess. And this worries me. This group worries me because if we win our group, we could potentially play third from this group.
Yes.
I think Poland will finish bottom, but I can't really call the other three. I think, looking at it, I think France will finish first, and I think Austria might finish second. But then Holland are the reverse of us. They haven't really got a lot in front of the defence, but at the back they're so strong. They're so strong. They've got good keepers, 3 good keepers, and they've got very good defence there. So I don't think they're going to concede many goals, but I don't think they're going to score a massive amount. But I think Austria are a more rounded team than them. So, I mean, I'm saying this now, and Austria are going to finish bottom, and then they're going to lose 3 or 4 of them again. But I can genuinely, I can see them possibly finish second, and they would probably be my dark horses of the tournament to go reasonably far. I would say. So I'd say France, Austria.
France, Austria. Okay. Simon?
Yeah, I think I've got to back England to win the group. I think, like CJ, we won't make it smooth. We never make it smooth, but I think we'll end up top. And then I'm going to cop out on C and D. I think Serbia and Denmark could easily be level on points, and it's down to goal difference. And similar with Group D, I think France will just sneak the group. And then I think Holland and Austria will be level and down to goal difference. And I think both of those, C and D, could go either way, depending on what someone like Austria do against Poland. I don't think someone like Holland will concede against Poland. And it's whether they only sneak that 1-0, but someone like Austria go for it and get 2 or 3 potentially, which might be just enough to tip them being second rather than if they can get a draw against the Dutch. So I think similar with Serbia against Slovenia, I think they'll try and score more goals than perhaps Denmark will get against them, and that might just tip them into second. So I would go England, Serbia, and France, Austria. I think just on goal difference for both those teams in second.
Okay. Right. So England, Serbia, and France and Austria.
Yeah.
Okay. Claudio?
Yeah, Group C is interesting because I think the England game against Serbia is really important. The Serbians have got Kostic, Tadic, Vlahovic, Mitrovic, Jovic, and Savic. They're I mean, they're lots of itches, but they're tremendous. That's a tremendous forward line. It's a bit similar to England's actually. And I think if England do what they did against Iceland and play such a high line, he can't do that against Serbia because they will hit him on the break all the time. That's what they're good at. And we all know Mitrovic scores goals. You know, that's what he does. And him and I think Savic have both been in Saudi, haven't they? I think just swanning around for last year. So that's key. So I think I'd imagine England will just pick them, but that's the key. And I think those two will finish 1 and 2. England 1, Serbia second. Like CJ said, Denmark are aging. I mean, they're still relying on Ericsson in midfield, for God's sake.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Højlund, could he come up? I mean, he's finished the season well, hasn't he? For United, so he could come good. But I think England obviously too strong. Like Simon said, it'll be uncomfortable at times, but I think they'll top the group and Serbia second.
Okay.
Group D, I mean, that is the group of death, isn't it, really? Because you look at that, Holland or Netherlands should be doing a lot better than what they do. I mean, CJ said about their front line, but it's still got some good players in there with Gakpo, Frimpong, Depay. Sorry, yeah, they've got some good players. Their midfield's really good, but their strength is their defence. They've got a really strong defence, Netherlands.
Yeah.
So I think they'll pip second purely because I think they'll concede less than Poland and Austria, and France will top the group. We're going to get fed up of hearing about Mbappe because I'll keep going on and on about him the whole tournament. But I think France are a bit of a collective at the moment as a team, aren't they? I think they'll top that group. I mean, going back to Group C, I think Serbia qualified in first place and Denmark was second, weren't they, in the qualifiers?
Yeah.
They're both in the same group, weren't they?
Yeah.
So England, Serbia, France, Netherlands.
France and Holland. Okay. I'm going for England, obviously. I think England will be too strong, as you say. They're going to. I think they'll win it and canter, to be fair. I really do. But I'm going to stick with Denmark, the old team, Denmark. I think they'll come good, and I think they'll finish second. I think they'll have quite a bit of experience in their team, which they have, and I think they'll qualify. So I'm going for England. I'm going for England and Denmark, and then obviously France in the other one to win it. And then I've got to go for Holland. I think, simply because I just think they're the better team. What's left? And I'll probably agree with CJ. Poland and probably finish bottom, but no, they'll probably qualify. But I'm going to go for France and Holland in that one. So there you go. England, Denmark, France, and Holland for me.
All right, I've got some comments. We'll go back to Glenn. And he said, do England leave Foden out of the starting lineup? What do you reckon, CJ? What would your preferred midfield be?
I mean, for me, a lot of it depends on what he wants to do with Bellingham. I know he's got the number 10 shirt. I know he's been playing a lot as number 10, but for me, his best attribute is his dribbling. Well, he hasn't really got a weakness, has he? But his best attribute is probably his dribbling. He could just dribble for hours and hours. If your best attribute is your dribbling, do you really want to be put on the edge of the box in the number 10 position when we've got a lot of players that could play there already? I wouldn't be against playing him alongside Rice. I really wouldn't, and that would allow us to have. I mean, Saka plays. So if he's fit, he plays. He plays, and he's been one of our best players the last couple of years. So he plays on the right side. You've got Kane through the middle, and then potentially, if you do, I don't think he will do it. But if you were to play Bellingham further back, you could play both Palmer and Foden, and you could play one on the left and one through the middle. But I don't think he'll do that. I think he'll put Bellingham as number 10, and he'll play probably Foden with Palmer to come off the bench, I think. And then it just depends what he's going to do with alongside Rice, whether he plays Mainu. I don't know. I mean, he likes Trent in that position, which he doesn't seem to play there any other time. But he likes him there, and I wouldn't be against that because I don't think he's that strong defensively.
Are you surprised, CJ? Are you surprised that he's left out Grealish and Maddison and maybe took Wharton and Gallagher instead? Because I'm surprised Grealish isn't going.
Do you know what? Gallagher, I wouldn't be against Gallagher starting alongside Rice. He's been very good. He's been very good for Chelsea, and they adore him there. They've got tifos, the height of the stand, saying he's Chelsea through and through and so on. He's like their next. He's basically replaced Mason Mount as their star, guy that's come through. And I've been impressed with him against your lot in Naples last year, Claudio. He came off the bench. I can't remember how long he played, but he ran his socks off, chased every single ball, and he just ran and ran and ran and ran and ran, and he just didn't give them a moment's
Do you
peace,
think?
and he
Do
helped
you
us
think
close
that's?
out that game.
Did you think that's why he's been selected then, ahead of Grealish and Maddison?
I think Southgate liked him a lot.
Southgate's played in most
What was
games. He
that?
likes work rate and energy there, which I think he doesn't get from Grealish and Maddison. I think.
Yeah, and he can play further back as well. And I think what you've got to look at with Maddison is behind Grealish for me in the pecking order, and I don't necessarily disagree with us not taking Grealish. So
I just think Grealish
yeah.
is a match winner, isn't he? He can change a game if he comes on. Grealish.
He can do, but I think Eze.
playing-
I think Eze's better than all of them.
Yeah.
I think
I
he's
like-
better
I
than
like Eze.
both of those players.
Mm.
So
I think
although
with
Grealish has got the experience, but
Yeah.
But really, how many really good seasons has Grealish had?
Yeah,
He's a-
he hasn't played a lot this year, has he? To be fair.
a couple of years ago, he had a really good season for Man City, didn't he?
Mm.
And
he did.
he's, you know, Pep Guardiola.
He's still hung over from that 3 or 4
Well,
day period from last year. It was
Pep
when he
is
was
a
almost
bit,
falling off the bus.
He doesn't mess about, does he? If he's not happy, he leaves people out. So there's obviously something that he's not happy about this season because he hasn't played as many games, has he?
No.
What do you think, Simon? Foden in or out, Simon?
In, I think. I just going back on that. I think Southgate's tried to pick something which has got a different balance to it. He's got others who can do what Maddison and Grealish, or he believes he's got others who can do what Maddison and Grealish can do. Whereas Eze, Gallagher, Gordon, and that, I think he's gone for some real pace to try and change the game. Because if you bring off a Bellingham or a Foden, Grealish is going to do the same, so it doesn't change the game. Whereas he's trying to perhaps bring in a different type of player now, where he might be able to attack down the flanks, do something different in a game when he might need to. It's an abundance of riches. But going back to the point, I'd play Foden a little bit like Foden hangs off De Bruyne. Then I would have Foden hanging off Bellingham and really use them as dynamite through the middle there and Saka out wide. And I don't know about all the other positions. That's why Southgate's paid the money rather than me. But I think Foden's just got goals in him. And I think alongside a Bellingham close rather than wide away from him would be better suited to him. If he's not going to play him close, then I don't think he's the best person out wide. I think you are better off with someone else out there. I don't think that's his better position out there. But he can clearly play it. But I think you're better off with Gordon, Eze and others who can naturally play a wider role. But he won't be that brave.
No, I think the good thing about Foden, I think he's outstanding talent. Foden is a fantastic player, but he can play in various positions, can't he? You know, the top three. So
is it 7 Premier League titles or something, or 6?
Yeah,
you know, and he's been a contribution in all of that.
He's only a small lad. Thank God, you can knock him off the ball easy. But you try and get the ball.
So's the keeper who hasn't played a game. What's his name? The Man City keeper.
Man City keeper. I can't remember his name now.
Carson, that's it.
Carson, yeah.
Well, what about this then? From James Hollyoak, England's defence looks poor. See, I think this is where England's downfall might come towards the back end of the tournament. I'm looking at what he's taken. So he's got Trent down as a defender, but he doesn't really play him there, does he? Lewis Dunk, Gomez. I mean, my mate's a big Liverpool fan. He's going, I can't believe he's taken Gomez. Gahey, Crystal Palace, Konsa, Luke Shaw, Stones, Trippier, Walker. I don't think that's a strong defensive lineup at all. No, we're definitely lacking at, well, the man who's injured, Maguire. I know people call him Diamond Head and all sorts, but he's a leader. He's a leader.
He's playing well for England, hasn't he? I mean, every time I see he doesn't let England down at all. I know he's had a bit of a nightmare season for Man U, but every time I've seen him play for England, I'm sure CJ will agree with that. He's been outstanding, hasn't he? At times, Maguire.
I think he's been super. I don't think he's been that bad for Man United either, to be honest with you. I think not necessarily this season. Last season, he was just he got so much stick, and yet the guy next to him, Varane, was getting a lot of plaudits. When I think he was actually playing better than Varane, to be honest with you, last season. This season, do you know what? I had a couple of people come up to me after the semi-final and said, "Do you know what? I know we scored 4 goals against them, but ultimately they thought that they said, you know what, we actually get him. After seeing him live, we actually get him. He can actually pass like 30, 40 yards, to a postage stamp. He's actually he's not quick. He's not fast at all, is he? But ultimately, anything in the air within 5 yards of him,
and he's deadly in the box.
It's his head on it.
Set pieces.
Yeah, I think he's England's highest ever highest scoring defender ever. I think.
It's going to be. It's a real miss, I think, for England.
Huge. Yeah. He's big for John Stones as well.
Who would you start? Because I look at that, and the problem you got is if Maguire played, John Stones is free to go forward. He can go into that midfield, can't he? I'm not sure he can with the players who are behind him. And I think this is why against Iceland, I knew he went then. England looked a bit ropey in defence. So who would you, as your 4-man defence, who would you think he's going to start with?
I think he's got to. I mean, Walker, one of the first names on the team sheet. He's
Walker and Stones.
He's so quick, and like Simon says, there's Stones as well. Stones has almost got to captain that defence now because Maguire's not there. So they're and probably Mark Gay, I think.
Yeah.
And then the other one would be. It's got to be Trippier at the moment. I can understand why he's taken Shaw.
I think he's desperate for Shaw to get fit, isn't he? So I just don't know where his progress is at the moment. But I think if he thinks he's got 60 to 80 minutes, I'm not sure he'll start him in the first game, but I think he'll be in the second or third game or in the latter stages of the tournament if he's fit. It's only whether that's a real gamble because I haven't seen much press on whether he is fit or not. But if he's fit, Shaw will be straight in there, I think, as well. He's a favourite of his, and you can see why when he's fit and plays well.
Yeah.
Fair play with Crystal Palace having 4 players in the squad. That's quite something, isn't it? It'd be interesting. It's in a way he's left himself wide open here because in the past he's gone for experience, hasn't he? When people are crying out to bring in a bit of an experience and a bit of youth, and this time he's done it. And I think people are worrying now because they're thinking, "Oh no, he's bringing in some younger players in that would normally get anywhere near the squad." But don't know. Maybe he's changing a habit of a lifetime.
There's not a lot of choice though at the back, is there? And this is why I don't think we're favourites. Really, I wouldn't just put us as favourites just simply because. I mean, our most important player is the player that we're probably not even going to mention because it shows how important he is. Because there's literally no other choice. Pickford has to play. I know Kane. I know Watkins, for example, hasn't been brilliant for England. Tony's not been great. He's done okay, but the drop off from Kane to Watkins, for example, you're dropping off to a player that's got 10, 15 assists and about 20 goals this season. If Kane gets injured, but you go back to Pickford, if you lose him, you've got like Ramsdale in goal, and I think I could be wrong, but I think the last start I think he made before the Iceland game was the Hungary 4-0, and that showed as well how important Maguire was because he didn't come off the bench until about 80 minutes in that game. But Pickford's so important. He's so important.
Yeah, Ramsdale's looked injured for us. Nervous when he's played for Arsenal this season.
I'd genuinely, I would have seen if we could just ship him out and just put Trafford in as third choice and have Henderson. I think Henderson's a better keeper than Ramsdale, to be honest with you. I really do. And then the defence, it's just we haven't really got a massive amount of experience there in the centre half. We've got no other left back. We haven't got a left back if he has a little bit of a relapse. And Walker is just he's the sort of guy where you could drop a Mondeo on his head and his head would stick out the sunroof. He's just strong as anything, isn't he?
But I really like Tomorrow's at Milan. I mean, he's been totally overlooked, hasn't he?
He doesn't like Serie A, does he?
No, it's weird. It's probably because he never got chosen.
There's an argument to say that Loftus-Cheek could have been looked at, but
yeah, he's been great. He has Tomorrow in Italy. I mean,
Tomorrow.
I mean, going back a few years, you got Smalling was doing very well in Italy, and he kept getting ignored.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Right.
Okay. Groups
Got some
E.
more. I'll just do some more comments.
I've got them. Yeah.
Glenn says Dark Horse is Hungary. Could be. Graham Cockrell, there's so much hype every time England start, and they always let us down. I don't have any hope anymore. I'm not sure what he's referring to there. Nation Radio commentary: Germany, Italy, Spain, and Germany, Switzerland, Spain, Italy. That's his predictions for the first two groups. West Sky Blue, Poland with qualified from their group, and West said, not a fan of Gallagher or Palmer. To be honest, stronger players have been left out.
Well, I think Palmer is fantastic. I think Palmer's got to be in there.
Sensational.
Yeah, brilliant. He's another, he come through the academy at Man City with Foden, hasn't he? He's another fantastic player, young player, and he's so calm, isn't he?
Sims?
Southgate has picked all the penalty takers.
Yeah, so calm under pressure.
Not many of them have missed this year, have they? Saka and
no,
Kane.
Yeah.
He's gone with those that take penalties as well in there. If you notice,
Saka's turnaround in 3 years from the
phenomenal
from the Euros to how he takes the penalties now. Brilliant.
Yeah,
right.
Isn't it?
So, Group E and F.
Go on then, CJ. You go first then, CJ. It's got to be Belgium, isn't it?
Group E. I mean, I know what Claudia said about Belgium, and when I first look at Belgium, I think, yeah, you're right. But you look at their squad, and you think it's weird. Like they've got some properly aging players in there. Like you look at the players that they've got in there. I'm just looking at the squad now. Like their keepers are just. I mean, it's just a disaster area, really. Courtois is not there, is he?
No.
So, and then they've just got a really. I mean, they've got what's his name, Faes from Leicester in there in defence. I mean, they've still got Meunier in there. They've still got Vertonghen in there, who's 37. I mean,
they've got bags of experience.
Yeah, and and I mean, there's a lot of experience in there, but and then midfield, De Bruyne and so on. You Tielemans, who hasn't been superb at Villa, has he? But we know what he can do, and I mean, Witzel's still in there. I mean, I don't know how Witzel's lasted so long at Atletico, but the thing is, the two breakout players for me from this tournament, I think, are in their forward line, and that is saying breakout. I mean, he's just won the Premier League title, and he's had everyone going, "Wow!" The guy's as strong as an ox, and he can just run through walls, and he's just got skills coming out of his feet, and that's Doku. But the Bakayoko as well, plays for PSV. He had a very good end of the season where he just scored goal after goal after goal after goal. He's only I think he's 20.
Can I just say that isn't 20 goals Bakayoko, is
it? No, it's not. No. He's not quite. He's not quite up to that level yet, but yeah. But yeah, he scored a lot of goals towards the end of the season at PSV. And then you got Lukaku. But yeah, I mean, he's out of contract, I think, at the moment, and so there's going to be that distraction for him. So I don't know that there is that that's possibly going to be hanging over his head. But yeah, the other three. I mean, Ukraine are a decent. So I'll put Ukraine second in that. I think Belgium will win the group, but I think it will be a case of one of them where I think, unlike us, which could still qualify quite convincingly by coming out of it with 5 points, I think they might labour to 5 points. And I think Ukraine will probably finish second in that.
Okay.
Group F, I mean, that is just. I mean, Portugal are the one that after France, I'm probably most worried about.
Yeah.
They got
You've
a
also
really
got
good
the
squad.
Spanish as well.
They're my
They've got an
dark.
excellent squad. And when we talk about Tongan, that Pepe is playing from, and he's 41. I mean,
He
Ken,
went-
he's older than you and Claudio. You know, he's 40. He's still doing it, and fair play to him. So, and then you've got the other chap that's quite, the other chap up front, hasn't he? Haven't they? So,
The man who
that's
scores
his
goals
age now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm going to the Georgia Czech Republic game in this group.
right.
It's gonna be it's gonna be an interesting game. I think I'm looking forward to
Now, of course,
it's
it's
gonna be a good atmosphere.
first time Georgia's ever been in the competition, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a big thing. This proves that the Nations League works.
Yeah.
It brings these teams forward, and so I was skeptical about it, but I think Portugal will win the group, and I think maybe the Czechs finish in second.
Yeah.
I think Turkey, they're always kind of like people's dark horses, but to get quarterfinals maybe. But I think I could see possibly the Czechs coming second out of that.
Okay. Simon?
Yeah, I think Belgium actually going to be quite interesting. I think they could really. They have got ageing, but I think very different ageing to Denmark, and I think they will punish teams. I think Doku and others, I think they will really. They've got the ability and something special to turn it around. I think they've got quite a balanced side there, even if it is slightly ageing. So I think they'll win the group, and I think they'll do very well. The other three teams, I don't think there's much of a muchness. I do think Ukraine will steal a march on the others and probably sneak a win, a draw, and I think 4 points will get them second from that group. And then F, Portugal, without a doubt, I think we'll walk the group. I think Turkey threaten to always. I think was it Qatar? Everyone's going, it's the best Turkish team ever, and they're going to romp the group, and they just flatter to deceive at these tournaments. And I think they'll continue to do the same. I mean, I hope they don't, maybe, but I think the Czechs will take second, and Turkey will be third, and whether they pick up then, but they just never seem to quite get it right at tournament football. Unlike when we see the likes of Belgium and some of the others, and they just do. And that's why I commented about Italy earlier. They might struggle to get to a finals, but when they get to the finals, then they have a different mental approach. And I think Turkey are the opposite. They seem to go, we've made it. Let's go and enjoy. So I think Portugal and Czech then for me, 1 and 2.
Yeah. Okay. Claudio, do you tend to agree with that?
Yeah. Group E. I mean, what a dreadful group. That's one to avoid, isn't it? No, it is though, isn't it? I mean, I can remember one World Cup. I stayed up 1 a.m. to watch Japan play. It could have been Sierra Leone or someone like that. I thought, I don't care what game it is, I'm going to watch it. This must have been the Brazilian World Cup, I think. And I thought, I'm going to stay. Because didn't they have one England game which was moved from 1 o'clock in the morning our time? They moved it, didn't they? Because of the viewing and all that. And I think they played it earlier. And I thought, I'm going to stay up because something dramatic's going to happen. And I want to make sure I see it. And it's 0-0. I went to bed at 3 a.m. It was 0-0. And I feel this group's going to be like that.
They don't kick off today, so you're all right.
But Belgium have got a good starting 11 without a doubt. But I don't think they got enough on the bench, so they'll get through this group, and I don't think they'll do much after that. And as for the rest, you've got to put your money on Ukraine. I think they're about the strongest. So Belgium and then Ukraine.
Ukraine, I think
the other group's interesting because Portugal. They should get 3 out of 3. They got the players to do it. They got a really good set of players. I know not about Pepe, but I mean they got a tremendous lineup.
It's who he's got next to him.
Yeah, and Ronaldo keeps scoring, doesn't he? It's ridiculous. It really is. Georgia got a guy up front who plays for Napoli. I was trying to say his name here. Kavica Kvaratskhelia.
Billy.
Kasvili, yeah, he's a good player, but that's about it really. But I think Turkey will get runners up in this because Portugal then Turkey.
Well, you're going for Turkey, okay?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, well, I'll keep notes of all this, and then as the tournament goes on, I can see who got it right or who came nearest. When it all finishes.
We can all pick an overall win at the end after you've had a go.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I'm going to go for Belgium, obviously. Belgium, but I'm going to go for Ukraine as well. I agree with most people about Ukraine and Belgium. I think they're both two strongest teams in that group. Portugal, I think, can go all the way and win it. I really do. Portugal, I think they're my dark horses. I think they can win it. And then I'm going to go for Czech Republic as well, second place in that one. But Portugal are my dark horses. I think Portugal. I'm going to put my money on Portugal to win the competition. I really do. I think they're going to win it. It'll be interesting, but. They've got plenty of goal scorers in their team, and I think they've got an all-round good team, and they should have no problem getting out of the group. So, get your money on pot. I don't know what price they are, but it should be a decent price, shouldn't they?
I think they're about 10s. I think.
Are they? Yeah. England are still favourites with the bookies, aren't they? I think.
A lot of that, though, Ken, will be people just lumping on them because. Do you know what I mean? It's just how it is, isn't it? It's not due to it's not due to the ability of the team. It's just people just will try and lump on them, won't they?
Yeah.
Because you'll always back your team to win.
Yeah.
When you look at the Portuguese squad, I've got midfielders of Danilo, Bruno Fernandes, Pedro Neto, João Neves, Ruben Neves, Matias Nunes, Paulinho, Bernardo Silva, Vitinha. Then you got Conceição, Felix, Jota, Rafael Leao, Ramos, and Ronaldo. That's a hell of a midfield and forward line.
Embarrassment of riches, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is. And I think what's going to happen is,
and at the back as well.
Yeah, the back is quite strong.
Yeah. Well,
you look at their goalkeepers. Yes. Ruben Dias as well in front of them.
I mean, Jose Sá, who we thought was fantastic for Wolves, probably won't even start, will he? Will he?
Yeah,
no.
Yeah, that's right.
Probably not. They've got Costa and Patricio, I think. So
and you got defenders Cancelo, Darlow, Ruben Dias, Inacio, Nuno Mendes, Pepe, Nelson Semedo, Antonio Silva. I mean, it's a good squad. It just might be what might do them in is they sometimes do self-implode, don't they? When it gets to big games, they've done it in the past, and I think they've got to not fall into the trap of Ronaldo, because that's the issue I think in the past, wasn't it? It's get the ball to Ronaldo, and I think if they ignore him a bit more, then I think it'll. It's like Ken says, they definitely could win the tournament.
Yeah, I'm quite confident they will. I think they're a fantastic side, Portugal. But there's always somebody that might one of these little teams might surprise us. You never know, and go a bit further than we don't expect. So,
well, you back Scotland, Ken. So
yeah,
we hope you're wrong.
I just got a funny feeling they'll pick up. But I think tomorrow against Germany, I think they'll draw. I think it'll be a draw, believe it or not. I know I'll probably get good odds on that.
Well, one thing about
the best
Belgium,
thing about Scotland is their manager, I think.
Yeah.
He's tactically very aware. So it's whether he's got the players capable of delivering what he needs to do. I think he's a great manager.
Yeah.
I mean, talking about teams imploding, I think one of the biggest examples of that recently has been was Belgium at the last World Cup. Though we talk about Belgium, but they and some of those players are still there, and I can't remember who they were playing now. We went to watch them. Me and a friend did, and they were falling out after like 15 minutes. Literally, the players were shoving each other. It wasn't shown on cameras at home, which we're really surprised about. Nobody seemed to be talking about it, but they conceded a goal. Literally, it was against South Korea, and they were just being they were like shoving each other, like they were grabbing each other by the. And it weren't good to watch at all. It was just they've got the ability to just implode. And what I'd say as well, actually, is now we say that France are due an implosion, aren't they? It normally happens once every sort of 10 to 12 years, where the players go on strike, or I don't know, something happens. They've had too many, good tournaments where everyone's been happy. They're due a 2002, or I think it's 2010. The other one was. They are due one of them. So you just never know.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens, won't it?
So overall winners then? What do you reckon, Ken? Are you going Portugal?
I'm going Portugal. I'm going to stick my neck out and say Portugal. Yes. Go on.
Simon.
I feel like I don't want to agree, but I think they've got the best all-round squad and depth, actually, and balance. So I think if they get that right, then I certainly think they're in the final. And you can't rule France out. They don't look like they're ready to implode, but who knows? But I would put my money on Portugal if I was betting right now on the tournament.
CJ, you've been patriotic.
I've got to agree, and I think it's them, and I've just got to hope that Pepe and Ronaldo fall over or something as they're picking up the trophy, just to put a smile on our faces. But I don't know. They're just very good, aren't they? They're very good in every department.
That's the bit for me.
I think they're going to take some beating.
Yeah. And Claudio, you going for Portugal?
Yeah, I just think they're going to have an easy start to start with, and I think they're just going to be. In the end, I think they'll have enough in reserve as well. That's the key, isn't it? As you get further in the tournament,
big squad.
It's the squad, isn't it? And at the minute they've virtually got like for like, which is and they're proven as well. It's not like they've only just started playing. He's had that squad feels like years now. And this is probably their chance of winning it. I think they'll do it. I mean, when they played Italy in the World Cup, didn't play Italy because he got knocked out against bloody North Macedonia. But I actually thought at the time, well, if we get past North Macedonia, we got Portugal, and I couldn't see us beating Portugal anyway. So it was like the worst case scenario. So I just thought they're not going to qualify anyway, regardless. It's a bit like South and North Korea. It's just as well because you got beaten by both of them. You could just as well have got a West and an East.
Well, that's what I mean. So games, as they say. Where do we all think England will finish then? I mean, I think England will get to the semi-final. CJ?
I think the quarter-final could be the tricky one because we're playing Claudio and we're playing Italy, aren't we? And that's what it looks like. You just never know. I mean, we could slip up and finish second, and that could give us a better route. I don't know, but they could slip up. You just don't know. But it looks like we're probably going to be playing Italy in the quarters if both teams get that far. And the thing is, they owe us one. I'm not saying they should have beaten us last year, those two games, but ultimately we beat them twice. We should have beaten them both times, but still, you say, law of averages, we probably beat each of them 5 times each out of every 10 games. So throughout history, probably. So I think that could be where it finishes, but again, it's probably going to go all the way again. You're talking a narrow extra time or pens possibly. If we beat them, then who knows? I mean, I think the semis are I think we've got to be aiming for the semis realistically, but I think that quarter-final is going to be very difficult. And
You need a little bit
that
of luck.
could be where we come unstuck.
Yeah. You need a little
I
bit of
think,
luck away as well, don't you?
You look at the tournaments when we've had injuries, when Rooney's got injured before, when everyone says we'd have gone on to win it. You've got to have that little bit of a look. I mean, the midfield and attacking lineup we've got now, I think, is more than capable of winning those games. But so is Italy's team capable. And look at what the Italian teams have done in Europe this year. You know, far better than people thought. Same with the German teams, to be honest. So you've got to look at it. And I know it's not just a single country of players, but I think if England can scrape through against Italy, potentially if they get there, then I think they can go all the way again. But I think that could be one of our toughest games, getting through that. We just don't have a good track record against Italy late on in tournaments.
So you go quarter-final then?
I think we'll sneak it this time. I think we'll have a bit of luck. Let's be patriotic. We'll have a bit of luck and we'll be flying back out to the final. Or CJ will be staying for longer and be out there for the final.
Claudio, where do you think England will finish? Or where do you think the tournament will come to an end for them?
They should get to the quarter-final minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I would say definitely quarter-final minimum. But it's difficult, isn't it? Because of the way the groups are done.
Yeah.
You don't know who's going to finish. You can't work it out, can you? Normally, you can map it out, can't you? You can't map this out.
Not really, no.
I know it's finishing third.
So, but I think it'd be massive disappointment. I think if they get beyond the quarterfinal.
Yeah,
because this is the opportunity now, and Southgate is not going to be. Well, he needs something. He needs to win something. I think now.
Yeah. I think if he doesn't win, if he doesn't win it, I think you might see him stepping down. Maybe Southgate. I don't know.
I think he goes regardless.
Do you?
Unless we can't find someone else to take it on. I think it's got to be an English manager. I think one of the points that I think doesn't seem to get looked at enough is, I know you can't necessarily base it on this because obviously there's always the first time, but a foreign manager has never won the World Cup.
Right.
Only one foreign manager has ever won the Euros, and that was a freak. I can't remember his name now. Hapoel with the Greek German. He won it for Greece.
Back in Portugal when we should have won it, and Rooney got injured.
Yeah. And Rooney got injured. Yeah. So the thing is that doesn't get mentioned enough, I don't think. And so I know times are changing. I think Pep is going to go to. I think Pep's going to be the Brazil manager in a year.
Oh. Okay.
So I think that's what So they've never had a foreign coach before. They were meant to have Ancelotti coming up, but he decided, he shook hands on a deal with them and he walked away from the deal and stayed at Real Madrid. So, but I think I can see Pep going there, to Brazil. But so times might be changing, but in that respect, but the foreign managers never won the World Cup. Only one's ever won the Euros, and the FA can't give their two top jobs to foreign managers when they've been complaining about English coaches getting a chance, and they don't give an English coach a chance themselves. If I had to pick one person right now, it'd probably be, I think it'd be Gary O'Neill.
Yeah.
He's the one. But I think you've got to give him 4 or 6 years. If it's a disaster and we don't qualify or something, it's a McLaren type situation. Maybe then it's time to let him go. But yeah, I think Southgate will stay on unless there's a viable option. I think Southgate will go unless there's a viable option. Because I just can't see him taking a job anytime soon if he leaves. So he might as well stay on for a bit until somebody else comes forward eventually.
So if he wins it, you'll think he'll go out at the top. Just leave it.
I think he probably goes out at the top. Yeah. If he wins it, and if he doesn't win it, I think there'll be a lot of public pressure on him to step down. regardless of the circumstances.
Yeah.
I mean, there was one or two, but there was even one or two people having a go at him after the World Cup when, I mean, Kane missed a penalty, and we would have won that game if Kane had scored the penalty. You don't know what would have happened then.
How often does that happen? Not very often.
That's not his fault.
No.
Yeah.
So I got some comments here. West Sky Blue, Belgium overall winners, Ukraine, Turkey, Portugal. That must be about the group. He's put England quarterfinals maximum. And he then said this will be Southgate's last tournament and Mark Robins' next England manager. Right. Well, going back to Coventry, going back to the Sky Blues, transfer window opens, isn't it, midnight tomorrow? Is that right?
Yeah, I believe it does actually. Yeah, so we might see some.
Now, according to the rumours, we've already spent 20 million.
Well,
We've bought the lad from Birmingham, 6 million. Is it some Croatian lad, or I think from New Zealand?
Yeah.
And there was somebody else as well we've signed.
How about the one from West Brom? There's supposed to be somebody from West Brom as well, wasn't
there? Yeah. That's 25 million we've spent then.
The one thing
for Darren McAntony's new boat.
Yeah.
The one thing the last few years
in Miami.
The one thing that has taught me the last few years under Robins is virtually no one has guessed who he's about to sign until literally someone's hanging in the bush. They've kept it really tight. So any speculation now, none of it has been right before, and any of the speculation when it's been the last few seasons, they've seemed to have kept it really tight. And I think that's good. And hopefully he's enjoying a bit of a break before he's back.
Yeah,
I think him and Vivash and that are all away at the moment. So I think
there's rumours about Sheaf might be going, and I'm thinking, well, if he does go, he needs to go this summer, because if he goes next summer, we'll get much for him. We'll get nothing. So,
but do you not think if we keep him, he could be one of the keys to getting us up this year? Is it a gamble worth taking?
Doesn't it?
Sorry.
Got 2 years.
I think he's got 2 years left.
2 years.
Yeah. So I say, but I'm not going to worry too much.
No, I mean I can't see Sheaf leaving. To be fair, I think he's quite happy here for the time being.
Well, I think it's only if someone comes in with a stupid offer. I mean, what figure do you accept? If someone offers 25 million, that's a big amount for reinvesting, isn't it? Like Brentford and others have done before. It's a big chunk of money at 15 million. I'd take a punt that he's that good, that he's worth keeping to get us up. But again, he has had injuries every season. So, but maybe that's because we've had to rely on him so much.
Yeah. Before we go, I'll just do the statue appeal.
Yeah. Now, Joe Elliott came on last Sunday, and he told us we're very, very close to the total. Just one final push. So if any pennies or pounds, they all mount up for that statue. And they're hoping to get it all finished off very soon. So they're close to the final amount that they're looking for.
And 2 weeks' time, we've got the join us on the 26th. That's a Wednesday, isn't it? 26th of June at the Engine Inn, Kenilworth. Fixture release forum. Who do you want to play first game of the season and all that? I might as well advertise myself, mightn't I? Out now, episode 8 of the Sky Blue History Podcast with Jim Brown, Coventry City FC historian, featuring Claudio Cardellino. That sounds from Sky Blue Fans TV. We didn't do one this week because Jim was having a chat with the club about the archives, so I need to find out what's happening about that. Next week,
what were the war years like, Claudio?
Oh yeah, so,
what were they like?
We only lasted 2. We took we had a go and thought.
Do you recall many games?
I thought we meant the actual war. I was going to say we had a go, didn't like it. It wasn't like the Romans. We'll sod it. Let somebody else deal with it. Yeah. So we're going to do maybe 70-71 next week. I'm hoping. I think we have got. Well, Jim went to Munich definitely went to Munich. We've got another guy coming on who went to both, to Bulgaria and Munich, to watch the Sky Blues in our one and only time in Europe. So
that's
that
the
should
season I wish I was around for. I wish if I could go back and go to one full season, is that one.
Yeah, that was my my first season was 70-71, but I was only 6. So, and it's frustrating because it was the year of the donkey kick as well, which, according to my dad, I was there, but I don't remember it. It's one of those, isn't it? Too young to remember. So I saw Bayern Munich play. Don't remember. It's great, isn't it?
First English club to beat them, weren't we?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, first English club, and Norwich were the first English club to beat them in Germany. And that was when they qualified for Europe in the early 90s.
You never know, we might be not too far off in the distant future. We'll be there again. All going well.
Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to this season. And I just love the fact that there was a lot of doubt, and even I thought, will they sell all these season tickets after what happened with not the price increase as such, but the moving around of fans, the extra conditions, ticket exchange. I just think there's a lot of people who just want to go there. There's a lot of people who've been going, casually last season and enjoying the experience. It's great. The atmosphere is brilliant now. It's brilliant. Why wouldn't you be part of it? Now's the time to be a COV fan if you really want to be. You can't. Apart from getting in the Premier League and staying in there forevermore, the last few years have been great.
Yeah.
I wonder whether the sort of caps system at the end of the year has encouraged a few as well to sort of get that for any future games it may have. But I think also the feel-good factor, and also, if you can get the money or even on the finance, the amount per game, if you can get to most of them, it's still a cracking deal for the price. If you're talking a family zone, I know it gets a lot of stick and I know various things, but if you are an adult and a child who can go there for £300 plus the booking fees, the average cost per game, it's nothing. You can't go and do anything for that now with kids. It's pence really I know that's wrong. It's not pence, and that's why we're trying to help a lot of people. But for what you can go and do elsewhere, you can't go to the cinema for that. You can't take a child to the cinema for the cost of a season ticket now. So if the kids love football and you can afford it, or we can help with the financing, through the fund and things like that, then it's a good value if you can get in the family zone. It's not as elsewhere, but again, the price per game, if you can afford the season ticket, becomes better value. It really does.
My game works out at £18 a ticket.
Yeah.
Well, it can't be.
And the thing is, Simon, as well, when you look at the cinema, by the time you bought pick a mix, popcorn and a large Coke, that's actually more than the price of a Premier League package season ticket.
Don't get
me
started.
To go once.
I've always gone to the shops to buy that stuff and force the kids to have the cheap stuff before and put it in the bag.
Sneak it in the bag.
Tight.
Sneak it in, yeah. Don't pay them extortionate prices at the cinema. No.
I went to see Planet the Apes of the week with Luca, and I think the tickets cost £4.99 each. And he says, "Dad, I'll get the Coke," and it came to something like 15 quid for 2 Cokes. I couldn't believe it.
They are extra large, though, I think.
No, they weren't, though. That was it.
It's small.
No, she said, for another 50p, you can have a large one. I don't want a large one. Yeah.
Where they make their money, I think.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Well, we're nearly at the end of the show. It's gone quick, hasn't it? God, it's 10 past 9 already. Plenty to talk about. CJ, when do you fly out?
We're getting the train first thing Saturday morning. Yeah, to Brussels, and then we're staying in Essen. So we're getting the train into Essen. I'm coming back Monday.
Oh, you're coming back? Yeah.
See the kids. Yeah, see the kids and the wife. Head back on Wednesday. I'm out there till the 1st then, and then when we go with that guaranteed quarter final we're going to have, I'm flying back out on the Thursday after that. So I'm back home for 2 or 3 days again, and then I'm out there until until we win it. And I've got a flight booked back to Heathrow from So So I'm looking forward to that. And, yeah. And then I'm looking forward a couple of weeks later to going back to Frankfurt again.
I'll be there.
Darmstadt.
I'll probably see you there because I'll be going to Germany for the friendly as well. So
the air miles have taken a massive hit this year. We were saving them up for the World Cup in 26, but they're now being spent. A lot of them is being spent on Darmstadt away now. So
you safely say you spent most of your summer in Germany then, really?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm 100% using that flight. 100% using that flight back to Heathrow from Berlin. So yeah. I mean, that Iceland game just said you're going to be there in the final. So you know, it really did. So.
Yeah, well, I hope to see you when friendly in Germany because I'll be going out there as well in July. So I might catch up with you there. But you'll have to link up with us when you're out there, if you don't mind. Where we can give you an update when you're out there into the show.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Tech show and give us a rundown of what's going on out there. So, but we'll be in contact with you, and hopefully we can get you to come on the show when you're out there again, like you did last time. Give us a tour.
We won't be on a boat this time. They don't have many boats in Germany in that area. In the areas where we'll be playing. Yeah.
That'd be interesting. And Simon,
the cruise liner would be a bit lost if it appeared in Cologne or Gelsenkirchen or Frankfurt. So.
I think it would actually. And Simon, you're going out Saturday?
Yeah, similar. Saturday morning, flying back Monday, family again, and then back out on the Wednesday, just for a week for those 2 games, and then again, subject to how we progress, I will be juggling days off with my boss and hopefully. Flights if we need to. Well, when we will need to. Let's be positive. Let's finish on a positive. When we need to.
We might get in contact with you again, and you can probably come on the show live from Germany if you don't mind.
We'll try.
You got a bit of free time. We'll have
Sunday's one will be the game. Will be on, won't it?
Yeah,
just before the game.
I think we're going to start the show early on the Sunday. That's the plan. So hopefully,
try and ping you some pics from the fan parks and stuff like that.
Yeah,
fan
definitely.
parks are always amazing at these places.
Yeah,
So try and send you some pictures and that from the fan parks.
Yeah, I think we're coming on there 5 o'clock. I think on Sunday. So
on the Sunday prior to the game, so might be able to get a chat with you before go to the game. So let us know if it's available and stuff. Yeah.
In our house, you got me obviously Italy, and Caroline's Czech, Austrian, and English, and so it's. And she's head of languages at Edgbaston Girls' School, and she teaches German. So
yeah, you're missing the Portuguese, though. We've all backed Portugal, remember?
Yeah, but surprised you've all gone for Portugal. I thought I'd go to Portugal. I thought I'd be the only one, but you've all.
But she's going on a school trip out there, though.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
So while it's on, so it's great, isn't it?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay. Well. Enjoy your trips, everybody. Have we got any more comments before we go? West Sky Blue says, did you hear the Sims rumours? Brentford looking at if Tony leaves. And he also reckons they Luton. We've got Luton again, our friends Luton. Come back down, haven't they? Yeah, Luton at home. First game of the season.
To look forward to.
Yeah.
I think we owe them, don't we? We owe them one. Right, that's about it. We'll wrap up. Anything else, Claudia, you want to add?
No, that's it. I'm
all good.
I'm all good.
Okay. Right. Thanks very much, Simon, for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for inviting us on and plugging the charities. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
No worries.
I'm well done with that charity. It's been fantastic. There's a lot of people that go into games now that didn't expect to go, and that's brilliant. And CJ, thank you very much as normal for coming on. And
no worries. Same as Simon. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to talk about it and talk about what we do.
Yeah, no problem. And we'll catch up with you both hopefully in Germany soon.
And at the trips.
Some stage, yeah. We'll stay in touch. Claudio, as always, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Miles will be back from his holidays next week, I believe. So he'll be back on He'll be back with us on Sunday. And then he'll be back next Thursday as well. So you can join us then. Right, that's it. Thanks very much for joining us. And this Euro special, we'll still say big play up Sky Blues.
Yeah, play up Sky Blues.
Even though it's the summer.
Sky Blue Fans TV, for the fans, by the fans.